All right, good Saturday morning. Heading to the spa, a little different today. Getting a massage. Kind of one of the perks, even though my wife and I pay for our membership. So the spa is trucking along. The summertime is normally slower. People just are doing things outside. They don't think about getting massage, in the wintertime or fall, or even early spring. The weather's kind of iffy, so it is busy. But as you grow, the slower times become more busy than before, and the busy times become more busy because you just have more clients. So we're working on that. The staff is doing a great job. So I just think that correlates with me stepping back from the business. So I don't know what that means, but that's exciting. So I'm super grateful for everyone there. And yeah, so that's going good. One of the things I want to talk about is kind of circles back to what we're trying to do in the investment office, and really what we're trying to do at the spa is basically once you get your processes, the procedures in place, you marry that with quality employees that understand what they're supposed to do, right? What does my job entail? 2, giving them the space to do it. And 3, then, analyzing what they're doing and just giving them some tweaks or, attaboys or, hey, maybe we could do it this way, things like that. So that's what we're doing. I'm stepping back as much as possible and just, making sure that everyone we bring on board is of high quality, that's motivated, honest, it's kind of like, doesn't everybody want those type of people? But they're not as common as you think. So sometimes you hire in desperation and that hurts you down the road. You're just trying to fill a position and you're just trying to get a warm body in a position and hoping that you could train them and they'll turn out. But 9 times out of 10, it never happens. So, the old adage of hire slow, fire fast. There's somebody causing issues, get rid of them. And during, coming out of COVID was very difficult because you couldn't hardly find employees. They were jumping around. So it's very, very difficult. Having said that, my wife, who owns 2 dental practices, she's the hardest worker I know, and she's tired. And I think a lot of it is that she, like me, likes to control things. And, because her name's on the door. And that's common. And I've tried to talk to her about what I'm going through and the success I'm seeing, and she's about to hire a consulting firm for 6 months, which is great. But I listened in on the call, and it's kind of stuff that she's learned before or stuff that we've discussed. And so I'm really trying to, kind of nail in her head that, all this stuff already. The problem is continuing the consistency over a long period of time. So once you put this process in place, you got to make sure they do it and you continue doing it. That's the issue. You do it for 2 months or 3 months and maybe have some turnover. And then the new person doesn't get taught that, doesn't get trained in the exact process of how we do things, why we do it, and just making sure that person is doing it. Because a lot of times they'll come from a different business or career, just different industry, and they'll kind of put what they did in their last job in this job, and maybe that doesn't fit. And so you've got to make sure that whatever process of procedures you put in place, that they continue and they don't slack off. And sometimes I do see that in the spa, just because I'm not there. Sometimes I'll try to say something, but I'm letting the manager manage, and you just kind of have to say, the business is still growing, so let's just keep it going. I'm not there. It would be different if I was there because I'm the owner. I have skin in the game. So again, I'm trying to teach my wife that her life, there would be so much less stress in her life if and when she got those processes and procedures in place. Everyone knew their position. Everyone knew exactly what they're supposed to do. And then, if they're not doing it, get them corrected and back into that position. And that relieves some of the decision making and just, trying to control everything, lets you focus, lets her focus on just being a dentist, lets me focus on just being a financial wealth manager. Even in the spa, lets me just focus on the ownership side of it, where I'm looking at finances and, people want raises and, are we growing enough? It seems like every time we start getting close to break even, then, we got to get a raise or, by choice. Recently, which I talked about in some of the other videos, I had it repainted, had some of the carpet pulled up and brand new put down so it looks fresh, and that's an expense, I think, overall. And I'm not sure I paid for the carpet yet, actually. I'll have to look at that, but I think the paint alone was almost $5,000. So you can see there's a big expense right there. I mean, $5,000, just divide that by 75. That's how many members it takes to pay for that paint. So yeah, so at the end of the day, it's process of procedures. I believe in it. It's even in your personal side, like getting up at 3 a.m., man. I was up this morning. Some days I can jump right out of bed, and some days I'm like, but I get up, and it's just, you get yourself used to it. Exercising this morning, again, doing my rowing, biking. It's repetitious, it's boring. I listen, I try to get new music. I have the golf channel on the TV, because I love golf. So that just takes my mind off of the actual activity. But I know over time, it's really, really good for me. So I just got to consistently keep doing it. Also, we just made the decision to head to Mexico over the 4th of July. We're going to sesquicentennial the 250 years of America. We'll be celebrating down in Mexico. I got it like 2.5 weeks, so I am on it. I've been slacking a little bit on my workouts. I'm still doing my, moved up to 600 push-ups a day. Still doing that, but some of the runnings kind of dropped off, but I'm back at it. I got 2.5 weeks to look good in Mexico, so just a quick trip down there. Actually, we're not even taking suitcases, we're just taking backpacks and doing that quick trip down there. So I got looking forward to that. July is going to be a really, really busy kind of travel month. Going to Mexico, coming back, going to Chicago, doing the Big Ten 10K run with my daughter. And then as soon as I get back from there, I'm heading to Austin, Texas for another kind of a week of meetings and playing some golf, and then back. And then I think I'm heading back to Chicago. My wife's a big Benson Boone fan, and she got 4 tickets. My goal is to bring you along on my trip to Mexico. From the day we leave, a little different this time. We usually get up at like 2 a.m. to catch our 6 a.m. flight. But this time we're actually leaving in the afternoon, getting to Cancun at night. So a little different, but I hope to bring that with you. A little bit different. I'm trying to do more day in the life stuff, also the business stuff. So today's video is all about just whether it's in your life, personal life, whether it's in your business, whether it's where you work. When you get to work, I do this, just it's all consistency, because really if you're just kind of winging it, I mean, how can you get a lot of things accomplished? So, being organized in basically everything you do, working out, prepping your meals, doing your sales calls, doing your membership pitches, have a consistency. I think at least that's what it's taught me over time. And I talk about a lot in my book, 28 Summers, and my book, Move. The 28 Summers is really my life and my kind of my business life, but a little bit more personal stuff. Move is more of a urgency mindset, implementation in business. I love that book. And so 28 Summers, obviously, I think you should read it. I'm not a big fan of reading stuff about myself, but Move, the second book, is, I think, super. So there you go. All right. This is the video. I'm about to get to the spa. All right. Till next week. Take care. Have a great week.